Explore within. Without going abroad, you can have knowledge of the world. Without gazing at stars, you can perceive the heavenly Tao. The more you wander, the less you know. The wise explore without traveling, discern without seeing, finish without striving, and arrive at their destination without leaving home. That is chapter 47 of the Tao Te Ching. And to a certain extent, this is a continuation of yesterday. I mentioned that yesterday's title was contentment. And chapter 47, following 46, kind of explores literally within. How do you gain contentment in your own life? And what it suggests here is, hey, this is how to develop self-control, critical thinking, understanding of the self, understanding of value. And it's nice to see when these chapters follow each other coherently. And what it seems to be saying is, start by being where you are. It might be easier to reduce distractions. Exploring within is a mechanism to understand value itself, which can then be used in each moment. We can use our experience. We can each be where we are, both together and apart, as we are both in each moment, despite distractions. There's also no shortcuts. Don't try to be clever with it. And that's what we're going to talk about in chapter 48 tomorrow, titled Cleverness. To be clever with it is to live in the future, and you're not in the future. You're here, now. I also want to point out a particular word that stood out to me in this. This is in the second stanza. It says, the more you wander, the less you know. And I want to think a little bit about what it means to wander. Wandering insinuates non-intentional navigation through change, aimlessness, to a certain extent. And that's a little different, I guess, or rather worth some clarification when you look at something like wu wei, effortless flow, moving through time. And in many cases, that can be perceived as water going downhill is simply going along with whatever it comes up with. And as a result, it's pushed in different directions. It's moved in ways that it can't control. And while in many ways that's true, there are also forces, truths, realities that are influencing this. And gravity would be one of them, as an example. What I'd like to put out here is that the more you wander, the less you know, can also be flipped around. Moving intentionally, or at least moving in a way that is consistent with reality, is going to empower greater direction. It'll allow for more knowing, more understanding. It'll make it easier to explore within. This is a direct relation to two things. One is something like the intentionality of meditation, taking time aside to be still, to reduce distractions, to take a look at what is happening in the mind, and without going too far down this path, also what is beyond the mind. Exploring within can be a valuable act, certainly, but it also is an intentional act. To go exploring is to go looking for something. And the only way to find out whether or not that's possible for you, or value added for you, or worthwhile for you, is to take the time to do it. Now, you're on an app. You are engaging with something that is designed to be a distraction, that is designed to push you to further content, to click play on the next item. And instead, what I'd suggest, if you are interested in chapter 48, talking about cleverness, is between this and that, or this chapter 47 and whatever you're going to listen to next, is to take 5 minutes, as if you were just going on to click play, and spend those 5 minutes in silence. Spend those 5 minutes perhaps with your eyes closed, just breathing, just exploring within. Consider, if you would, not analyzing what happens in those 5 minutes, but just observing.